Perhaps you, like me, thought that pickleball it's a fun little sport enjoyed mostly by older people. Oh no, it's a menace. If you ask the neighbors who hate the noise and the governments who are moving to limit where pickleball can be played. Denver Parks and Rec is shutting down a court in Congress Park, dropping plans for a new one near Sloan's Lake. A city in the suburbs just put a 6-month ban on new pickleball courts. Our Steve Stager looks into what's causing such a, forgive me, racket.
Pickleball is the country's fastest growing sport.
If the continued rate of growth continues, by 2030 there'll be 40 million people playing pickleball, which will surpass any sport in the U.S.
Spend an hour in this court in Congress Park, it'll be easy to tell.
This is a crazy amount of people for a Thursday morning.
This is a light day.
It's busy. Busy and noisy.
The paddles that we use are carbon fiber, and the ball, it just has a 71 decibel sound.
Mark Nelson runs the Congress Park Pickleball Club and knows this sport is loud.
I get constant updates from my watch that I'm in a loud environment.
You don't have to tell the people who live here either.
It's just a very percussive sound. You can't ignore it.
Betsy Roomley lives way down the block and still hears it.
It's just a pinging, and it's just constant from, about mid-morning to at night. Last night I heard it right before going to bed.
Betsy and a group of her neighbors have complained to the city for a while now. Enough that the city sent out an inspector.
Just yesterday at this property, we had 64.6 decibels, which is almost 10 decibels over.
The legal limit is 55 decibels.
Once something bothers you and gets under your skin, that's all you can hear. That's all you can think about. And it really just doesn't go away.
Simply put,
it's a racket.
Which puts the Parks Department in a bit of a pickle.
Clearly, along these homes on this site, it is violating the noise ordinance.
Scott Gilmore is the deputy director of Parks and Rec. He says he sat with neighbors and heard the noise himself.
Dock, 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 dock. I got it on my phone. You want to hear it?
Originally, Gilmore planned to move the courts further away from homes. Now he's just getting rid of them in Congress Park.
It would be irresponsible for me to bring back pickleball to this park. But let's find the right park to put pickleball so pickleballers can have their own space.
It could take years to find and build the right spot, leaving Nelson and his fellow pickleballers without some options.
It's not going to stop. We're going to play.
Continuing to argue their sport is worth all the noise.
There's good and bad for everything. There's 80 people getting exercise and building the community and getting to know each other and living in the world we want to live in, right? It says 80 strangers just not doing anything.
So down south, in my city of Centennial, they just passed a 6-month moratorium on building new outdoor pickleball courts. That's until they can study the noise associated with these. Scott Gilmore told me the guidance he's gotten is to keep these courts at least 500 feet away from homes. Typical city block is about, what, 311 or so feet? Think about that. It's like almost 2 city blocks away from a home. You got a lot of neighborhood parks in Denver. It's going to be hard to find a spot that's that far away. They've got a couple of options. They're looking at Burns Park at the corner of Colorado and Alameda.
Okay.
That might potentially be one. Maybe then the noise will just kind of like
shift over there.
Flow into Glendale.
I did not expect the pickleballers to be quite as militant as they were about it.
I mean, this sport is incredibly popular.
Yeah.
And you've got a group of more than 1,000 people who are part of that group alone. They say that there are some days they've got like 400 people on that small court in Congress Park. They're planning a big get-together on Sunday, which is the last day it's open.
Man, picturing them all walking down the street together with the paddle, thwack, thwack.
We're coming for you. We want more. They want more.
Yikes. Thanks, Steve.